It's horse beef here. What's going on, everybody? I want to talk about Dana White today. Just being a bit of a goofball on TNT Sports with his interview, man. I feel like this dude has so much disdain, vitriol, if you will, for Tom Aspinall, and I am not convinced that he even wants Tom Aspinall to win this fight this weekend. In fact, I believe that Dana White is hoping and praying for Tom Aspinall to lose this one, and I think that'll become more clear as we get through parts of the interview done on TNT Sports. Like I said, so let's get into that right now.
From a British point of view, obviously we're all in on the Tom Aspinall train. How impressed have you been with Tom and what he's done in the UFC?
Yeah, unbelievable. Saturday night's the big night for him, though.
But why is this the big night for Tom Aspinall, right? Why is this the big night? It's not like he's fighting John Jones. It's not like he's fighting anybody who's been dominant in the sport for any extended period of time. He's fighting Ciryl Gane, right, who lost to Francis, right? He lost to John Jones. Why is this the big night for Ciryl Gane? He also robbed Volkov, by the way, last time out. So why is this the big night? How about the other nights? How about when he knocked out Sergey Pavlovich, who was seen as like this scary big Russian monster with one-punch knockout power, man, who was just running through everybody at the time? Why was that not the big night, right? I feel like he answers the question, right? He's like, oh, dude, unbelievable. But this is the big night for him, though. But you know what? You can't be sure unless he gets past this test here against Ciryl Gane. Now, I agree that Ciryl Gane is a unique test for Tom Aspinall that he hasn't really encountered yet, right? A heavyweight who's light on their feet the way that Ciryl Gane is, who possesses the speed that Ciryl Gane does. It is a unique test, but the answer kind of comes across as dismissive from Dana White.
Saturday night's the big night for him and the big night for Ciryl. Ciryl was winning the entire fight with Francis, and then, went for that submission and got into a bad position.
We're rewriting history with this one from Dana White. What are we talking about here? He was winning the entire fight until he went for a submission and got into a bad position. Well, was he finished in this bad position? Well, no, he wasn't. So how could he possibly have lost a decision in a 5-round fight if he was winning the entirety of the fight until the 5th round when he made a mistake? What the fuck? Is that what happened? Ciryl was winning the entire fight? Well, yeah, on the feet maybe, right? Yeah, when the fight was on the feet, yeah, to be honest, Ciryl Gane was dominant. He definitely was. But like I said, the fight came down to the 5th round. How could you possibly say Ciryl Gane was winning the entirety of the fight? It's just rewriting history as a way to build up Ciryl, but at the same time, just tear down Francis Ngannou. Act like, yeah, Francis, man, he's winning the entirety of the fight otherwise, man. It was just down to one little mistake, and that explains exactly why Ciryl lost a decision 3 rounds to 2, because he was winning the entirety of the fight until that one mistake. You would think that Ngannou just like clipped Ciryl Gane or like ground and pound finished him there or subbed him on the ground as a result of this mistake. No, that mistake from Ciryl just solidified that you're retarded and you lost the fight because you were retarded in that moment, because you needed that round to win the fight. Dana White is selling us wolf tickets, man.
And then, what John Jones did was unbelievable. So for Ciryl Gane in his career, Saturday night's a big night for him, and Saturday is possibly a big coming out party for Aspinall if he goes in and does what people think he's capable of doing.
Yes, it was quite unbelievable because of how easily Ciryl Gane seemingly gave up his neck to be snatched by John Jones. It was very unbelievable, and I think we can all agree on that one, Dana White. But then to say this is the coming out party. This is the coming out party for Tom Aspinall if he does what everyone thinks he's capable of. But what would be the difference? Everybody is picking Tom Aspinall by 1st round finish, and it seems to just be a foregone conclusion at this point. So what makes this some coming out party exactly? What would that prove that he hasn't proven already? He already has the shortest octagon time, average octagon time ever, right? I'm pretty sure that is the case. You can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty certain that is the truth. He knocked out Curtis Blades inside of a round, right? Sergey Pavlovich inside of a round. KO'd Tabura, okay, that's cool and all, but nothing too impressive. But that was right after his knee injury, right? That he suffered against Curtis Blades the first time around. He subbed Volkov in a round, right? Who just got robbed against Ciryl Gane, by the way, right? He TKO'd fucking Sergey Pavlovich inside of a round. Andrei Arlovsky's the only one who actually made it out of a round with him, but he still got choked out early in the second. The coming out party has already taken place. There's a reason why everybody and their mothers are predicting Tom Aspinall, as long as he's given the fights, right, could easily cement himself as the greatest heavyweight of all time, right? The possible heavyweight GOAT.
These matchups in this division, like, what type of run you can go on.
Yeah, I know.
Be crazy. You can, like, change your life.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what is Almeida's fighting? Sorry, Chilton can't fight.
Who do you think's going to win?
Chilton, I don't know.
I think Volkov, probably.
Yeah, but even Elmer, you beat him in the first round. It's like, it can crazy.
Yeah.
Bro, you're on the verge of some crazy
I appreciate it. I'm going to keep
Keep
doing my
working
thing.
hard, though.
Thanks, bro.
You got to keep working hard.
Thank you. I will do. Will do.
Dude, I'm telling you.
But something tells me that Dana White would not be a fan of that. And I think it might have a lot to do with Tom Aspinall's father, as well as whatever Diddy type dirt that John Jones has on Dana White, of course.
You said that you wanted a boxing champion.
Yeah, for sure.
You're okay with an MMA champion, but you wanted a boxing champion.
Boxing for sure. The money is
More money. Yeah.
more money. Why not?
Would that be an outcome for him? No.
There's 3 more fights on the contract now.
Okay.
And I don't want to sign a new contract.
Okay.
Personally.
And you can look at this clip here from Tom Aspinall's father a few different ways, right? You can see it as him, purposefully trying to make waves and, saying this type of shit, knowing that it'll circulate social media and will potentially even put pressure on Dana White maybe to treat Tom Aspinall better and pay him more to keep him around. But I don't think that Dana White really values Tom Aspinall that highly. I really don't think so. He does not promote him, despite him being someone who is very, very much promotable. He refuses to promote him altogether. It's very clear, man. Dana White has something against Tom, I believe. And it could be that close relationship he has with his father, right? He said it before that if his father tells him to retire, he's going to retire. So I think Dana White takes that, and then he starts to see Tom Aspinall as the opposite of a company man, right? He wants a company man. He wants the fighters who will take whatever contracts he offers with a smile on their face. Just sign your name on the dotted line, get the fuck out of my office type shit. You're my slave. I feel like that's what Dana White likes. Unless, of course, you're a Conor McGregor type figure who is just a money generating machine, which Tom Aspinall, objectively, he's just not that. But realistically, right, you could see Tom Aspinall's father's words as a positive thing. But overall, what I think is that Tom Aspinall's father should not have spoken those words on camera. I'm not sure if he knew he was being recorded or what, but I don't believe that he should have said that, because he's trying to strong arm the UFC. If that really is his motivation here, I believe will blow up in his face, because as we've seen that when fighters try to strong arm the UFC, it just doesn't go well for them, man. Dana White does not bend. He refuses to bend. He really does. It's his bottom line above everything else. It's the investor's bottom line above everything else. And from Dana White's perspective, why would he put all of this money, all these resources into promoting someone like Tom when their father and manager, right, and as we've said, that kind of like his spokesperson in a way, what he says goes, right? So if he's saying they have 3 fights left in the contract, they don't want to re-sign, and ultimately he wants Tom to go into boxing for the money, what reason is there for Dana White to want him to win or even want to promote him in general? I am not seeing it myself, and I get it. I'm able to put my fucking feet in Dana White's shoes. I understand from the perspective of a promoter, you don't want to be hearing that type of shit. And as I said, I don't even think that Dana White values Tom Aspinall enough in the first place to allow that to sway him in any way. But since he is Tom Aspinall's father first, you would expect him to be looking out for his own son. There is more money in boxing, absolutely. So yeah, of course it makes sense. I just think it was potentially just a misguided thing for him to be saying this stuff on camera if he had known that there was a camera recording him at the time. But either way, Tom and his father, they owe the UFC absolutely nothing after the way they've handled the last 2 years of Tom Aspinall's career. Completely mishandled, completely fucked around. So I cannot blame him one bit for wanting to turn somewhere else where more money could be made, because there should be no loyalty to Dana White or the UFC at this point. But does Tom Aspinall have the same type of pull as somebody like Francis Ngannou, really? Because when Francis Ngannou had that falling out with the UFC, if you remember, right, there were fans all over the place just shitting all over him, saying, "Oh, so you fumbled the bag." Then he gets his big fight against Tyson Fury, and then he got another big fight against Anthony Joshua. Yeah, man, he got flattened, and it was a terrible look. But he got the paydays he wanted. But I question if Tom Aspinall has that same type of pull, that same type of value, to where someone like Turki Al-Sheikh would be willing to fork out the amount of money that would be worth it for him. And if Dana White has his way with boxing, right, and they do overturn the Ali Act and all this shit, and then he somehow monopolizes boxing the same way he did with MMA, then Tom Aspinall is going to be getting MMA paychecks regardless, man. Which I absolutely hate, by the way. Fuck what Dana White's doing to boxing, or what he's trying to do to boxing. Fuck all that shit.
He's already said that the guy that's currently ranked number 10 is his friend, Ante Delija. And he would vacate the title if Elijah got to a point where he was going to fight for the title. Firstly, what do you think about that?
You know what I think about that
Yes.
before you even ask me. I hate that, you know.
And then we get another reason for Dana White to hate Tom Aspinall right then and there. You know Dana White hates this shit. Dana White, he really, really hates when fighters threaten to vacate their belt rather than fight somebody, right? Dana White hates that, right? It's not like that's exactly what John Jones did to Tom Aspinall or anything, right? Right? Except this is way different because Ante D'Elia, as I said, is number fucking 10 ranked heavyweight and has not earned himself a title shot. He's fought once in the UFC, as opposed to Tom Aspinall at the time, who was the interim fucking heavyweight champion. John Jones, somehow the undisputed heavyweight champion, decided he wanted to defend his fucking belt against Stipe goddamn Miocic over everything else, old man Stipe Miocic, and then retired before we even got the chance to see him fight Tom Aspinall, the interim champion, right? Upgraded to undisputed champion due to John Jones' untimely retirement. So it's very clear at this point, Dana White does not want Tom Aspinall to win tomorrow. He does not want it. In fact, it would be ideal, and I know for a fact he would be smiling ear to ear when putting the belt around Ciryl Gane's waist. But I believe that he will be so elated if he gets the opportunity to put the belt around Ciryl Gane's waist. Even though he's like a part-time fighter at this point, he's filming movies and all this shit. But Tom Aspinall has committed the cardinal sin of talking about moving to boxing. Not only that, but also refusing to fight somebody in the case that they somehow earn a title shot. Like Ante D'Elia is number 10 ranked. He's fought one time in the UFC. And Dana White's talking like this. I didn't hear that same type of energy with him talking about John Jones ducking Tom Aspinall in any sort of way. But then he's like, I mean, you know I fucking hate that shit, man. What? But John Jones ducked the interim champion before retiring and making a mockery of the heavyweight division. The heavyweight division is in the spot that it's in right now because of John Jones. It's all John. It all comes back to John Jones, doesn't it, man? Fuck John Jones, dude. But that is conclude my thoughts on this interview between TNT Sports and Dana White. Wasn't a big fan of the showing from Dana White there, but it is kind of to be expected, man. I don't know. There's just something weird about Dana White, man. The guy just seems super uninterested, specifically with this card. He doesn't seem interested in promoting it whatsoever, promoting Tom Aspinall in general. It's just quite ridiculous. But please, guys, let me know in the comments section below what you think. You know, whether you agree, whether you disagree, whatever your thoughts are surrounding the video, surrounding tomorrow night's fights, man. Are you excited? Just let me know your thoughts. Whatever your thoughts are in general, man, in life, just let me know in the comment section. And as always, guys, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next one.